I've taken us live just to see, make sure. Yep.
I have a half-desiccated bird to get back to.
All right.
Chat room, let us know when you can see and hear us.
Max says he can see live people.
Yay!
Streaming. Yes. Evidently, we don't know we're live. We're kind of like the inverse of Sixth Sense.
All right, good. That works for me. All right, Twitch. Notifications go away. There we go. All right.
You are already silent.
Yep.
You silent. Kitty silent.
Chat. Okay, there's the chat room so I can nuke stuff like spammers. And hitting that.
Don't mute. Nuke. Wow, I already can't talk. And
are words hard?
Words are hard.
All right, I just retweeted. Let's make sure.
I was going to see that. Don't nuke Max from orbit.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, it's not.
Video. All right. And yeah, we're good. All right, we're good.
And have I been clear? Am I cutting out? Because I know in the past when I've used this mic, people said I cut out a lot when I'm talking.
No,
does
you're
that
fine.
sound good?
You're really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so evidently, levels are.
That's okay.
So
we're good.
So you don't want me to eat the mic like this?
No,
Is
don't
that
eat
too
the
much?
mic.
Is it no? No eating the mic. Okay.
All right.
Katamari, I'm actually fairly well. If there's N's and M's involved, I have issues.
Yeah. If it's an aluminum apocalypse, she's over. Game done.
Cinnamon.
Oh, a cinnamon aluminum apocalypse.
Shut up. See, but you mentioned apocalypse, which I can say now, which does not have the N and M combo.
Yes, but you're enunciating.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I have to get back to used to being in the right field for this mic. It's fuzzy now, too.
Oh, nice.
All right. Shall I do this thing?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Okay, now I'm ready.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
Right. All righty. Guess we can start this show in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
AIE wants to pick your brains.
Blizzard is serving up your Thanksgiving appetizer.
To Narshada and beyond.
AIE is venturing forth into the Boss Gen front.
And we are talking to ourselves.
Yeah, we do that.
A lot. All that and much more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 355 of the podcast celebrating you, the AIE gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Bukow. And to my left is Makala.
Hey guys, there are pumpkin tarts and croissants in the guild kitchen.
And they are yummy.
And to her right, or my right, or someone's right, is Tetsemi.
Spreadsheets. I have lots of spreadsheets. Lots of leveling.
It's about that time of the year.
Yep.
This week, we are talking to ourselves, because we don't do enough of that. So welcome to us.
Yay!
Thank you for coming into the show.
Hey, chat room.
Hi, chat room.
Hello. Do we want to go around the room first, or do we want to wait into the news first and then get into it?
Let's knock out the news, and then we will go in. We'll do what we do at the end with our discussion topic. How's that?
Right, and honestly, one of my highlights of the week actually rolls into our discussion topic.
Oh. All right, then let's start with AIE news.
AIE News.
And we're going to start in the community section and talk about mandatory fun nights. where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. Sundays, in about 20 minutes, STO starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow, Monday, we have Guild Wars 2 starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesdays, we have SWTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. max time. Then on Wednesdays, we have Final Fantasy XIV at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then on Friday, we have ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Final Fantasy XIV Late Night at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday's a pretty full day. We start with Lord of the Rings Online at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by Final Fantasy XIV Map Nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we finish that up with New Braid in WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern. We are starting to brainstorm new, unique activities and events for our community. We wanted your thoughts on ideas we've had recently on ways we might all have more fun together. There's no guarantee that we'll be able to get these going, but your input would be great help in building momentum. If you have a couple of minutes, please check out this poll we have that'll be linked in the show notes. It's a lot of letters I'm not going to say here.
Definitely. All right. And in Guild Podcast news, SWTOR Escape Podcast 357, Digging into the Feast. Feast of Prosperity is live, so Max Sema and EPC 357 dig into it and get their first taste of this great new event. And in SWTOR Escape Podcast 358, The Mandalorian Season 1 recap. Ooh!
Nice.
Season 2 of The Mandalorian is finally here, and they do a quick recap of Season 1 to get everybody ready. And oh my gosh, that first episode was amazing.
Yeah.
I hear nothing.
So, okay, good. Sorry, we won't spoil anything, but okay, just yes. Once you watch it, if you need any confirmation, yes, that is definitely what that was at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And in Working Class Nerds, episode 86, SWTOR Bromance, Marcus is joined with Kitty Kisses to talk about SWTOR. Really, Marcus talking about SWTOR on the podcast? That's so unusual.
I know.
And they also talk about what a bromance is. Oh, yeah, I love a good bromance. Star Trek Online Fleet Action Report 15 basic features. This time, Nikitas and Gribog talk about the basic features of the game, from the core settings, your HUD setup, to keybinds, and more. After all that, they discuss the Delta, Temporal, and Gamma recruits. And while they sadly cannot be created, to keep your eyes out and create one if they bring back the availability temporarily. And in Fleet Action Report 16, Enemies Part 3, Gorn, Breen, and Voth. The folks are fighting for the fates of the Deferi people. They engage in some older enemies in STO and maybe one of the newer threats. They go into details on the Gorn, the Breen, and the Voth. They cover various aspects in space and ground combat compact that each brings in the combat, so you know what you're getting into.
And speaking of space, in Nomad's Dual Universe, the organization ran 2 separate rescue operations to save a member who'd run into trouble. New ships and buildings are being constructed by all members of the organization. This week, be sure to check out pictures of the PKH Basco's latest ship in the Dual Universe channel in Discord. Max, meanwhile, is busy working at building the first anti-grav ship in the org. We all can't wait to see what he comes up with. The organization is planning for the next Alioth Aerospace Expo to be held in January. The org is also looking at possible relocation sites with room for all of us to gather. The biggest news in Dual Universe this week is that the current area Safe Zone Triangle will be remaining PvP free. This opens up several more planets and moons, along with a large area of space in which people can safely build without concerns for having their assets blown up by pirates. We're watching you, Lank.
Hey, just because he's done it before.
He'll do it again. And in WoW news, WoW's anniversary is now live with a 16% rep and experience bonus. Also, the Shadowlands pre-patch has been announced and is dropping November 10th with in-game events, and keep an eye on New Braid for the pre-patch world boss, because they're going to do it all together. Then we have the actual Shadowlands expansion launch is Monday, November 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific time and 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's basically launching everywhere in the world at the same exact time, so it's just kind of rolling around. It's a worldwide simultaneous launch, so everyone gets it at the same time. No weirdness like we've done in the past.
Nope. Except for
Then-
Arizona. Because we went from
Well,
getting
you
it
know.
at 3 to now getting it at 4. Anyway.
The Alliance Guild. Wait, no. Did I skip a part? Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal and heroic rating opens up December 8th, with Mythic LFR Wing 1 launching on December 15th. LFR Wing 2 will launch January 5th, and the rest of the LFR wings will open every 2 weeks afterwards.
Yep.
The Alliance Guild is just over 600 members, with all the people creating new alts or bringing characters over due to the 30% off Blizzard Services sale. So get on that while it's still around. If it's
Definitely.
still around. I think it's still around.
I think it is.
Yeah, I just used it a few days ago.
I think it's running until the expansion launches on the 23rd.
Makes sense. The in-game guild finder is how we do many of our invites, so please remember, once you've put in an application on either side, the officers will review it, approve it, and once it's been approved, you need to go back to the guild community panel and accept the approved invitation, and you're in the guild. It's a little extra step, and it doesn't even tell you that it's happened, so you yourself have to go to the guild panel and say, oh, accept this invite.
Yep.
And going back in time into WoW Classic, the UO raid team cleared Blackwing Lair for the first time. They would like you to join them for Molten Core on Saturdays, with Blackwing Lair on Sundays, and starting on AQ40 with 1 out of 9 bosses so far. That was a pretty hard raid, if I remember.
Yeah.
Guild chat is connected via Green Wall with the United Ogremar, which is the UO I said before. And feel free to chat and group up and level with our friends over there. And then, of course, we have Vanilla Sunday Fun Days. They're starting a tentative holiday schedule for November, December. Keep an eye on the Discord channel for updates each week. And due to the time change, we will be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, because Arizona stays put and everyone else shifts.
Yep.
And you guys should all stay put with us.
If you're active in WoW Retail, that means you're able to play WoW Classic 2. Let us know if you make a tune, need a guild invite, or bags to get started.
Awesome. All right. And in SOTOR news, during the MFN this week, among other things, BC took everyone to Nar Shaddaa to make sure that they had one of the missions for the new Feast of Prosperity event, and then they went to kill the WB for that mission. By
World
the end of the
boss.
evening... Oh, thank you, World Boss. Wow. I can read notes. By the end of the evening, they basically had their conquest target for the week well handled. They also came into the Mandalorian garb to celebrate the beginning of season 2 of The Mandalorian, as seen on Disney Plus. You can see pics on Discord in the at SSO.
That's screenshots or didn't happen.
Thank you. Oh my God, I can't read today.
No, it's
Screenshots
okay.
or it didn't happen.
I had no idea what it was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know it definitely is, is a channel there. Yeah, so that is, yes, we most certainly do have that. All right. Last month's Mega was epic. Not only did they have spooky costumes, but they got together and acquired the Fleet Datacron. It was very gratifying to see how many people still needed it and were able to get that due to the hard work in Mega. Just a repeat PSA. If you have not acquired your Vanguard Squadron inspired mini pet offered due to the release of Star Wars Squadrons, be sure to log in before November 7th, before it is gone. Also, be sure to log in for Friday nights for Flashpoints, achievements, and megas. Also, let BC and Marcus know if there's things you'd like to have them do in MFN or Mega. I hear they're open to all kinds of, possibilities.
Exactly. All right, and in ESO news, recent MFNs have been focused on killing the various bosses as part of the Witches Festival that runs through November 3rd at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have continued the tradition of following Kenny off cliffs and getting lost while searching for sky shards. Weekly mandatory fun nights will either be zone clears, public dungeon clears, or dungeon runs until the next event. Please feel free to raid the guild bank for items your characters might need.
And over in Final Fantasy XIV, map nights continue to run on Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, meeting up at the FC house prior to rolling out. Maps, loot, fun is also to be had, and we just need you to show up. Maps are not required to attend, but definitely recommend that you bring one or two. They're really easy to grab. Bring a level 80 on one of your classes, and all of the Shadowbringer zones need to be unlocked as well because they go all over the place. And this is just in case you just dinked to 80 prior to unlocking the final zone. It happens, but there's a final zone that you may not know about, and you need to make sure you've unlocked it before you join for the map nights, because a lot of maps there happen there, actually. Flying does not have to be unlocked, as we do have many folks with multi-person mounts now, but it's helpful if you do. If you don't have an 80 yet, stay tuned, as we do fill in level 70 map nights and level 60 map nights from time to time. Then on Thursday nights, AIE is also venturing into Boss Gen front to help unlock the rewards for the new zone and progress to the story of the Boss Gen Resistance. We want to take the fight to the 4th Imperial Legion. Again, we meet up at the SC House, but at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Being part of a group is much safer and much more fun in this content, and they hope to see you there. And I definitely recommend groups. So while you can solo it, it's a lot trickier because you can, like Final Fantasy 11 and Eureka, if you did Eureka last expansion, you can lose, but you can lose experience if you die.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No one wants that.
Yeah. So but they did fix it. You don't de-level, so you keep the level you've earned, but you will de-experience. So you don't want that. Yeah, you want to stay in a big group if you can help it.
So basically, it's dangerous to go alone.
Pretty much. Here, take this.
Yes, exactly. And by this, that means AIE.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. In an STO news, Aspire Holding and Embassy Holdings are working towards their last tier upgrade projects, and they will be done. Dent is still running the Fleet Nights on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is in 8 minutes, people.
Yep. In Guild Wars 2 news, November 30th is the next Dungeons and More night, starting at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Mad Kings runs till November 3rd, so make sure you get in there while you can. And in Lord of the Rings Online, the Harvest Math Festival is back through November 24th. We're also looking to bring back the Chicken Play race in the near future, so stay tuned for more details.
All right, so we're done with the news, so we're going to talk about what we've been up to and address the question of the episode.
Yes.
All right, so looks like do we want to do what we've been up to first?
Yeah,
then
let's do that, and
Okay.
that'll lead into, I think, Makala's discussion of her favorite in-game holiday event.
Yeah.
Well, or game, related thing.
Yeah.
Well, so let's start with Makala, since she's first alphabetically, and see what you've been up to since last time we talked.
Oh, certainly. Halloween happened, so we actually did have quite a bit of a feast. Not as pretty as yours. I saw pictures from yours. But we did a fall stew. I baked croissants and our pumpkin tarts. So those actually really are in the guild kitchen.
And
The rest of
yummy.
Halloween,
Not kidding.
Halloween. No, they are good. Halloween was also spent doing what I love doing, gaming. We had a vampire fight in our D&D game, which was a blast, except for the fact that the vampire was after my character's blood specifically. So we ended with with her getting tackled. So that's what I do on Halloween. You want to fight a vampire?
Yeah.
Oh, it made it sound like you were having a vampire fight, like like two vampires fighting each other, and you were.
Oh,
betting
no.
Oh,
We were
okay.
fighting a vampire. And our DM did just let us know that we're going to be, once this part of the story is over, we're going to be taking a few weeks and doing some one-shot adventures with different characters. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. We finished in SJ's little campaign we've been doing on and off. We switch off with our Thursday nights with this. We finished the first part of our adventure, which literally was, I think, 8 sessions traveling 20 days along this road. So it was very fun. It was really neat, though, because it was a lot of character building. It's because she does, it's a dungeon in a box. And she has lots of really great resources and really cool, interesting NPCs. So it was a little slower going, but it's neat because the other game and that the other campaign we're doing with that particular group is more combat oriented. So it's kind of neat to have those two dichotomies.
Very cool.
Other than that, working a lot. But I'm not working this week because I am off. Hiking a ton. Because we don't really do much anymore. I'm cooking and baking even more than normal, which was always a lot.
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing this week. Besides my my answer to this week's question, I'll get into that when we get to that topic.
Cool.
All right. Well, there's only 3 of us, so that means it leaves Tets. What have you been up to?
So, leveling.
Hmm.
I'm taking advantage of this lull, shall we say, in getting all our add-ons and WoW sorted and all that. Working a ton, but when I get a chance, I've been leveling my Volpira Enhancement Shaman so that I can get the Heritage Armor or the Allied Race Armor, whatever you call it. Get that unlocked, which you have to get at 50 now instead of before you would get it at, I think, 110 instead of 120, but now you got to go all the way to 50 to unlock it, which is fine. I mean, the difference between 45 and 50 is, an hour maybe. Especially now that you get the 16% rep bonus and Darkmoon Fair is in town. So as long as you're not dying a lot, which you shouldn't be leveling, you get the 16% bonus from the anniversary event plus the, 10% bonus from the carousel as well. 5% or 10% from the carousel.
I think it's 10%.
Yeah. So yeah, like,
and you can also get that top hat, which I think is that.
Yeah,
that's another.
That's another 5% on top of it, something like that. There's a lot,
yeah.
And then I think the 300% XP potions or whatever those were, those don't work until you hit 40 or 45, if I'm not mistaken. Unless they took those out. I'm trying to remember something. So
I think they get rid of a lot of that kind of stuff.
They did. But
because if you go Chromie time, you just rip through things.
Yeah, it's fast. I took her from 10 to, I think she hit 38, 39 in Dragonblight. I went Borean Tundra to Dragonblight, and now over to Grizzly Hills, and I'm 46, almost 47 in Grizzly Hills. So the purported, you can see the entire expansion storyline. No. You even without heirlooms, you hit the level cap too fast.
Yeah, heirlooms don't help that anymore. All heirlooms do is they might give you more rested experience, but that's not actually doing anything.
That's the thing. All my characters have rested experience. So like the first, 10 to 20 or whatever, since the heirloom, the 6P set reduces the amount of rested XP actually used up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like I think it cuts it by a third or two, whatever it is, but the rested XP stays a lot longer. So if you're not focusing on one character and you're just, like running until you hit rested XP, throw them back in the end, do the next one, it still helps. But yeah, no, I like the new leveling. It seems like you get something every level, every other level. So it's a lot of fun. Also doing a ton of guild invites. I'll do, like, literally, I'll go out and do 3 or 4 quests, go turn them in, log out, go to the Horde Guild, accept or approve, people replying to the guild, switch over to the Alliance side character, do the same thing, then go back to my other character and start leveling again. So I've been, every 30 minutes to an hour, just logging out, approving apps and stuff, and going in. I'm really enjoying the reduced leveling time. I just wish there was a better way to. I wish they had Final Fantasy XIV's main story quest or SOTOR's planetary track, where it's like, just do this line.
Yeah, because they didn't really get into that until BFA, really.
Right. No, and in the beta, you definitely see that it splits it out into, this is the main story, these are your side quests. So if you just want to follow the main storyline on a character without doing all the side quests, you can. Just know that you're gonna have to go back and do those side quests to unlock world quests and other things in that area.
Yeah.
So you may as well do them while you're leveling, but that's up to how people like to play.
Yeah. That'll be useful for anyone coming on an alt and doesn't want to do the full experience, I imagine. And then they can just hit all the side quests.
Like if you get your first character to 60 and then bring the next character through, pick the Covenant right away, and you just want to start leveling that character, it helps a lot. So doing that, played a little bit of Genshin Impact. I'm still, I think I'm at that break point where I need to I've got all my characters to 20, but they can't go past that until I advance a certain storyline and open up a new area or something.
It's adventure ranks, typically.
Yeah,
adventure ranks is where that is.
Don't you have to build a weapon or something? Or is that
no,
where you unlock that
the weapons are just like the characters. Yeah, the weapons are just like the characters, that they level the same way characters do.
Okay.
So yeah, it's when you get to certain adventure ranks, then it lets you.
Oh, that's okay. That's what
more.
it is. Yeah, I've got all my characters at 20, but my adventure rank isn't 20 yet, so I can't advance the storyline. So I've got to go around and do a bunch of, the I don't know what they call them, but they're basically the world quests for that level.
Yeah. You've got world quests, you've got elite bosses, you got some of their little tiny dungeons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah, been having fun in that. Poked in the new Minecraft expansion, caves and something else that was interesting. So my daughter and I will probably restart a new Minecraft world because we have the Minecraft Realm subscription. So we've got 3 worlds essentially available, and we just clear out one and start over again once the new expansion comes out. So we'll do that. Played a bit of Among Us. I think that was since last time, wasn't it, Hev?
No, I think we talked about the fact that we needed to ground our child because she killed us both. The Hordling killed us both in Among Us.
Yeah,
wasn't that, that was just Monday, wasn't it? Was it?
No, it was the Monday before last. Monday before last. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Hordling killed us. Kid is sus.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kid is very sus.
Kid is very.
Yeah. Was she wearing red?
No, she was in blue, of course.
Oh, okay. Second sus.
Colors. What are they?
Yeah. No, Ted had no idea.
Yeah, especially because they have that one quiz that one task where you have to connect the 4 wires.
The wires, yeah.
And the blue and the purple.
Dude. Oh my god.
I could see the difference, but like half the time I was doing purple to not there, okay, there. So I wasn't doing as quickly as I could, but
they've said they're actually working on a colorblind mode.
Yeah, so. They added symbols now on either side, so it's like connect X to X and square to square. It's based on the controller. I think it's X, square, circle, and triangle.
The funny thing though was she killed me, and I'm sitting there like and Tat and I are next to each other. So she killed me, and I'm like, okay, I'm being quiet. She was upstairs in her room, with her laptop, and then I just hear from him, "I'm going to ground her."
Yep.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that we did not do our D&D adventure this week because if I have to mention this, it is AIE related, sort of tangentially. Anyway. Go to Ben Bumhofer's channel on YouTube and look up the Howling episode that Nevermore did. It's like 4.5 hours. It's a D&D session. They all played dogs. It was amazing. It's just adorable. It's something to see. So he's got the video up on his YouTube channel. Yeah,
she did a great job as a first-time DM. I know she was very nervous, but
she'd gotten
just adorable.
The miniatures of all the dogs, and so they all had their characters and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was amazing. But that's what I've been up to. What about you, Mew?
A couple things. Probably I would say the majority of my time I've been probably messing around that Genshin thing, just because it just kind of hits things just right.
Yeah. The timing's perfect.
Yeah, well, timing's perfect, and just the way it plays is a lot of fun, and it probably helps. I've had 2 really lucky rolls.
Did you get
on
some
2
6 stars?
I think it's 5 stars.
5 stars
is the highest you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 different times I've got rolls where it was like one roll was a 5-star and a 4-star, and then just like a couple days ago I had 2 5-stars and a 4-star.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, which is just, I mean, it's a very
insane.
unusual.
Yeah.
So, but because of that latest roll, I'm actually having to change how I do everything, because I finally got a second ice character. Because
Right.
the one they give you for free isn't really all that strong.
Yeah.
But this other one is a healer / damage. So it does tons of
nice.
damage and then heals as they're doing damage.
Oh
Oh,
wow!
yeah, I love those
That
characters.
sounds delightful.
Well,
Yeah.
it changes the whole game up, because one of the things that they don't really get too into is the elemental interactions are like how you do this game.
Yeah.
And if you are hitting them with lightning and ice, then you destroy their armor.
Yep.
So now that I have an ice character, I can now start ripping through things, because I always have a lightning character because I have a couple good ones, and then I just can rip through things as lightning, ice, dead.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I basically have to change like the whole game up a bit. So now I'm having to scramble and get some of the stuff to level things up, and yeah, it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
so you
still
have a
fascinating
discipline
game.
mage is what you have.
Yes,
ice and healing.
yes, very much so.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's still striking just how easy it is to get good stuff in that game without paying money.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
it's completely RNG. And I've of course bought the there's like a $5, like it gives you a daily, little bit of stuff.
like
that's
battle
the best
pass or
value.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they have an actual battle pass too that you can buy,
Right.
which is also worth a lot of, like, they have some stuff, like if you just want to spend a tiny bit of money, like they can definitely give you the best bang for the buck. But they're of course tempting those whales that'll just throw thousands on the game.
Oh
and
yeah. Like
It's amazing you watch
you
the
want 100
videos.
chances at this? Here, give us money and you get 100 chances for it. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys that I think his name is M Tashed. He's normally a Destiny player, and he got hooked into this game, and he has like this $3,000 account. And he said, "You know what? I'm going to try free to play." His free to play character is actually better than his $3,000.
Great.
Like that's just how the game
Wow.
works. Like
Yeah.
it's basically the proof. Like throwing money at it isn't going to do anything. You're just getting more chances at the thing. If those chances are still bad,
Yeah.
you're not any better
Right.
off than someone that's free to play. Like it's just amazing.
Yeah. No,
But,
it's like,
yeah.
like the Headless Horseman. You can go 8 years, kill him, no mount. And then
Uh-huh.
somebody plays for the first time and goes, oh, he drops a mount?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Did
Yeah.
never ever get that?
Yeah, I mean that as a recovering 20 alt at a time headless
Yeah.
horseman person, I've gotten to just one character this year is fine.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. Okay.
No, she was after Invincible.
Oh, that's yes.
yeah, which we
yes.
don't talk about because no.
No. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no. But yeah, speaking of a bit of the WoW stuff, I actually have finally started getting more back into WoW. I think the break we've had
Yeah.
from it has really helped, and now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, this actually seems interesting now. So
You get off the grind, you relax, and then you get back in and go, oh, that thing I was doing constantly, I don't have to worry about. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't have to
can
grind
go do
anymore.
this. Yeah.
I can go after goals I want to get because they're fun. So what I did is one of the things that they added in the pre-patch was the ability to tame celestial dragons for hunters.
Yes.
Oh.
So on my one panda that is already exalted with them, I bought the little book, sent it to my hunter. Couldn't use it.
Because you have to get
Because-
exalted with. Yeah.
Yeah. So why you can buy the book and it makes no sense why you nothing. It makes no sense at all. Like the panda that I bought it on couldn't use it because they were
Not a
not a hunter, but the hunter couldn't use it because they're not exalted. So why is it a bind on account? Just
Yeah.
whatever. So the hunter also was still sitting at 45 because I basically took them to Zandalar and left them there. That's it. Didn't touch them for the rest of the expansion. So I said,
Oh.
okay, well I can't.
Seema says you don't have to get exalted on your hunter. You have to be exalted on the account that buys the book.
Yes, and I had a panda that was exalted, had
Right.
the cloud serpent, bought the book, sent it to my hunter. My hunter could not use it.
What did it
So,
say? Why
It said you must be exalted to use this item.
Oh, that's no good. I wonder if did they hotfix that or, huh?
If they hotfixed it, it didn't fix my item. So either way,
Gotcha.
it didn't matter. But it actually worked out for me because what I ended up doing is, so I said, okay, hey Chromie, why don't you send me to Pandaria? Yes, I know this character's already done Pandaria, but send me to Pandaria.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to start. Now every day I'm going to do the Cloud Serpent daily quests.
Oh, the taming or the yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I used that to level from 45 to 50. So
nice.
I want to say it took about 4 or 5 days, and I got to 50 at the same day that I was then exalted with the Cloud Serpents and was able to use the book.
Very nice.
Okay. Yeah, it worked out great. So I used it to finish the quest line, and then promptly went to, I think
Mogashan.
One was Mogashan Fonts, but I also went to the Shadowpan Temple.
Right.
Because there's one there too,
yep.
and tamed both of those. So and then there's a trick. I probably don't want to do it because I don't want to PvP. But if you have the PvP trinket for the being an Azoth agent, you can also tame the Cloud Serpents that are in the valley, because you can you go war mode, turn yourself into a neutral agent, and then the Cloud Serpents become hostile to you. Then you can tame them.
Oh,
so
interesting.
So if you don't mind a little PvP, which it'll be a lot harder to do now. Like this was something you probably got in the beginning of the expansion when everybody was doing world PvP and whatnot, because you had to like do that thing where you became an assassin of the other side, and then it gave you a quest, and then you had to complete the quest. And yeah, it's probably a lot harder to do now. But yeah, I have.
I was gonna say I've heard of a lot of people leveling in war mode just for the extra bonus, even now. So I'm sure there's targets out there if you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find something. It'll just be a little harder. But I mean, I have a spirit beast, a celestial dragon, and a regular celestial dragon. So I basically have my flanking mobs now, and I got to go run through Pandaria again. So that was actually a lot of fun. Yeah. And then I finally ran through all the BFA stuff, because now you don't have to do the war campaign. You can just do a little bit of it, and then you can do stuff to get the N'Zoth, and then I'm probably going to do the quest line to get the cloak, because the cloak has a nice item level. And that's about it.
Yeah.
And then the hunter will be ready for the expansion, because I decided that hunter would probably go to which is it the last
or
no. The ones that are having the dinner parties, because
the
I've always
in
the fancy vampires.
Yeah.
Because I always figured that this character was kind of the hoity-toity type, but amusingly, this character was Revendeth. That's it. But this character was a blood elf and has been a blood elf since they were created. But I kind of thought, what, they have this 30% off thing. Who else is kind of hoity-toity is those the Nightborn.
Mm-hmm.
So I switched that character over to a Nightborn.
Oh, nice.
So and it worked out pretty well. It actually looks really nice. And I the thing that kind of bugs me at the Blood Elves is they're so tiny.
Yeah. And because the Nightborn are based on the Night Elf skeletal structure, they're tall.
Right,
they're a lot bigger.
Tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the equipment that character has looks totally different on this taller, lengthier character. And it also has these giant ears. But one of the things I did notice is that they didn't give the Night Elf customizations to the Nightborn or whatever.
No, not yet.
They kept theirs, yeah. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to change that, because they did give the Blood Elf ones to the Void Elves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's weird they didn't go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so now my new goal will be getting transmog, because apparently I don't play male characters very often, like chainmail characters very often.
Well,
so
because
I need
hunters and shamans. So
exactly, yeah.
Right.
And amusingly enough, the next character I need to level up to 50 is a shaman.
Well,
yeah. If you haven't grabbed it already, better wardrobe and transmog add-on.
I do need to get a new one, because the one I had is kind of old.
Yeah. Well, this one, the nice thing, because that's the other thing I've been doing, is filling out what they call recolor or alternate sets, because you're the Blizzard official. These are sets in the transmog book. Yeah, this add-on adds a second tab to that, and will show you all the rest of the non-official sets. So there's like a 3-piece set that you get for leveling through the barrens. There's the Frost Scale set, which is the chain set in Northrend. There's 4 versions of it. There's 4 recolors of it, and it will show you. You've got 6 of 8 of this, 7 of 8 of this, 8 of 8 of this, and whenever you mouse over a piece in your inventory or for a quest reward, it'll tell you not only have you collected this, but if you haven't, it'll tell you which recolor set it goes to and how many other pieces of that set you're still missing. So
that sounds
it's
because that's
addicting for an alcoholic.
well, sure, because like now that I'm able to do some quick leveling, and it's not going to take long to get me to 50s. Well, then I need to start making them look nice. So that's the next logical step to get everyone ready. So yeah, I'm actually finally getting a little bit excited for the expansion. Like up until now, I just kind of like whatever, it comes what it comes. But now it's like, okay, well maybe now I'm actually, that burnout is finally gone, and I can finally enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of coming back to games, I also jumped on to Animal Crossing last night to participate in the Halloween thing.
Yeah, Rye said that. Hordling said I think she had more trick or treaters at her house than she saw when they were out.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was a fun little event. I honestly wish that I would have been told or paid attention to being told about it back when the October started, because it was one of the things where you should have been paying attention at the beginning of the month, because you're supposed to be buying 1 piece of candy a day, which is a strange way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's because you buy 1 piece of candy a day, that's it. But the reason why is they didn't want you to have like hundreds of pieces of candies, because it would essentially ruin the event.
Yeah.
Because the event was about scarcity of candy.
Right.
So if you just showed up with this bowl of candy,
yeah, you basically win the event. So yeah, but the thing is I had enough to do what I needed to do, which was, you give candy to the trick-or-treaters, they give you stuff. Sometimes they might give you a lollipop. A lollipop is something you give to Jack. Jack then gives you special stuff, and if you get enough of his special stuff, you can pretend to be Jack.
Yeah.
And then you go trick-or-treating, and the other ones are like, Jack, here's some candy.
Yeah.
So then... Yeah, so it's just like this, like you can kind of work your way into the system so you can get everything you want. So yeah, I was able to get a lot of neat items and actually get the recipes to make the items. So, it actually worked out pretty well. And like I said, I wish I would have, been paying more attention, because, Halloween events are ones I usually enjoy the most. And speaking of Halloweens, as she alluded earlier, we did have a bit of a feast of our own. Yeah. We did a witch's stew with the ghosty potatoes on top, mashed potatoes, which we did in our Instapot to kind of speed things up a little bit, which definitely helped. Like it would have taken much longer had we done a traditional pot. But and then
if you use a Dutch oven with a stew, it does actually come together pretty quickly. But yeah, the Instapot does cut a lot of time out.
Yeah. Which I need to get there. I've seen they have a little accessory now for a little dragon you can put on the steam vent, and then the dragon breathes steam out. So
cute.
But we also had witch hats, which were made out of croissants roll stuff. What else? All kinds of pastry stuff. So we had cupcakes, we had brownies, we had what else? We did finally get some like caramel apples and dark chocolate apples put together. So yeah, we figured since we can't go out, we try to make it fun inside. And then for the visitors, because oddly enough, we had actually had a lot of visitors.
Wow.
I kind of did sort of a barricade of the main door. Because when I didn't have it up there, someone came like about 6:00. It was still bright as daylight, and a whole group of them came up. And like, whoa, okay. We've been 6 or 7 months of no one comes to the door, and you're like, hey, how you doing? And it's was a little jarring. So we put up the makeshift barricade, and then we had we got the Ziploc baggies that had like a little playful skull on it. We filled that with candy, and then we put glow sticks in it, so it was easy to see. And so we lined up the baggies in front of the barricade, saying, hey, we want to keep the tradition alive. We want to make the spirits happy. That's the whole point of Halloween is your spirits are coming to visit you, placate them, everything's good. You want your year to go well. So we kept that going, and all in all, we actually had a lot of visitors. I want to say it was 17 official trick-or-treaters and then 3 late-nighters at about midnight that came for the last 3 bags that were sitting
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh. Okay.
Yeah. They were definitely older kids, but
Right.
but I have the Ring camera setups, so you can usually see and hear and all that kind of fun stuff. So we did hear it's like, oh, cool, glow sticks, and it was kind of just amusing to hear the midnighters. There's still candy, yay! And they got to run up and grab it. So it's we were able to kind of participate while still staying safe and not worrying about getting anybody sick and getting sick ourselves and all that fun stuff. So it's Halloween is one of my favorites, Christmas being another one, and I guess this kind of then segues into the question we have.
Yes.
And that question being, with the holidays upon us, what is your favorite in-game holiday event that you've been part of and or created for others? So
let's start with McCall.
Let's go. Okay.
So when it comes to WoW, because I started playing right around Easter time, I started playing during Noble Garden.
Yep.
So that, like, to me is one that I'm very nostalgic about. And as frustrated, so that one I love just because that's when I started playing and had no idea how to play the game. And then you're hunting for eggs and doing all this fun stuff, and you get all this, these great outfits. So I love that. Oddly enough, even though the PvP portion of it kills me, I actually like Orphans Week because, and only because I'm vain, the little white-haired Belf looks exactly like my main Macaula.
Mm-hmm.
So I would
It was
always
adorable.
choose to have little Macaula with me.
Yeah.
So that was an absolute, that is, like, when it comes to WoW, those are like 2 of my absolute favorites. And of course, the Hollows event and the masks and all that, but Noble Garden has that special memory for me. But something we did this week, we actually did on Wednesday, is we had and my DM Michael did a great job planning this. We had a Call of Cthulhu one shot, and we ended up planning it where originally it was supposed to be just this generic school, private boarding school for these really rich kids. But because my buddy is playing a very wealthy guy, he's like, hey, can we make it the school that, can I start this school? So it ended up being, so our main campaign takes place in 1939. The storyline takes place in 2020. So it ended up being, the school that his character started in, in the late 30s. And then we got the idea for me playing his character's descendant. So, and then most of us ended up actually playing descendants of either our characters or other characters from our main game. And it was a great adventure because it really was a horror movie. And also the fun thing is I planned it where my character's birthday was the next day. Her birthday's Samhain, November 1st. The character that is her ancestor, my buddy, he had this horrible thing happen to him the night before his 30th birthday, where there was this massacre at Dunswich. He was the only one that walked out of it. So it ended up actually mirroring it almost exactly without us even really planning it.
Nice.
So it starts out, it's basically Breakfast Club. We are all in detention when this Halloween party was supposed to happen. And the principal wanted us to try to get us to be able to, do your detention tomorrow. The teacher in charge of the detention raised a fuss, so we ended up having to do detention. We were pulled as we were going to the party, so we're in our costumes. Oof. And all of us players are in costume as our characters.
Nice.
Or I'm sorry, not as our characters. I actually did 2 costumes. I did my character, then I did her costume. So her costume, and I'll post it in the chat, was Evie from The Mummy. So we're pulled as we're going to the party. We're sitting there for hours and hours, in the game. And then the ground starts trembling and we hear screaming. And then we pass out and we wake up and all the colors are off and everything's a little weird. We leave the room. We see the detention teacher being eaten on by 2 zombies, which are students at the school. We go to the principal's office. We can't find anything interesting. Like my character has a shotgun. The gun was supposed to be there. It wasn't there. We found a note talking about how they were going to summon the great powers, the power of Samedi on Samhain, and take over they're going to get power. It's like, oh my god, they summoned a zombie, the zombie lord. So we then went to the gymnasium where we saw this massacre had happened, and then the principal, we saw the bones of the principal in the middle of the circle, and as we approached it, it took form, and it was a servant of Baron Zamidi saying, all right, so something weird happened because you weren't in the middle of the ritual. You're dead, but not fully dead. So if you can get Baron Zamidi's hat, his rum, and his cigar, he might be able to bring you back alive.
Yeah.
So we had this really great adventure through the underground. And with the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, basically, as you experience more things, you start going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you're dealing with, 16 to 18-year-olds. So, like, our regular characters, we've seen a lot. So the sanity loss isn't, it's not a chance as much sanity loss. But when you're dealing with a bunch of teenagers, like even stuff that, would just roll past our adult characters would really affect us. So like at the end of we went through the underworld and we had to do some time hopping, even in the underworld. Like we started in the 1920s and we went to 1888. And of course, what happens in 1888? Jack the Ripper. And then we had to go to 1776. But we're kind of hopping through these time zones in the underworld. And, we're seeing all these awful things. We're becoming, very afraid. We're getting new phobias. We see like our classmates being tortured. So that's causing it to be even worse and worse. So we do get all 3 items. We get back to our time. We're then told to take it and the body of the principal to the graveyard. And then we can use the items there, and Baron Zamidi will give us our reward, which is, of course, coming back to life. But after that point, we were no longer in the underworld. We were in the real life. So, like, actually seeing the carnage and the horror of everything that happened, like, we're losing sanity left and right. We get to the graveyard. We're covered in blood. We do the ritual. Everything's fine. And then at the end, the police are swarming us because there's been this weird incident at this private boarding school. And literally you end with these 6 kids covered in blood surrounded by cops.
Nice.
So it was really great. And the fun thing is, because the way we made our characters, we made them viable to use again. And our keeper kind of recognized us, like, yeah, you guys made these so you can use them. So we might do something with them later.
Cool.
And I'm starting to get some ideas. I'm like, okay, well, I am poor little rich girl. I might, and I have the funds to, keep us going. So that was my Halloween. That was one of the coolest things I've ever done game wise when it comes to a holiday event.
Very cool.
Sorry for the long story, but it was fun,
right.
and I wanted to share it with you.
Very interesting. Yeah,
No, it's fun.
And we
That's one of the reasons I asked the question was because I wanted to see, what kind of fun things we'd gotten into.
We did try to record it, but we weren't able to.
Oh.
But we are gonna see if we can't start recording those particular sessions coming up. So we might eventually do a Twitch thing with our gaming group.
Nice.
Cool. All right. What about you, Mew?
It's kind of a 50-50 with me with game events. A lot of the times, I mean, I tend to look forward to the Christmas ones the most, just because it's, seems to last a little longer. It's kind of like a more universal thing, and what makes Christmas edge out Halloween for me is I'm not really into like horror. Like it doesn't really do anything for me.
Mhm.
I'm not scared of it. Maybe that's part of the problem. Is it's just like it's like
Right.
okay, yeah, oh scary, oh bloody, oh okay, big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it just doesn't do, but I like everything else. I like the other trappings. I like the the traditions, the just like color scheme is pretty neat. So I tend to find like the I do like messing with the horseman, even though he never drops the mount.
Damn him.
Yep, I have enjoyed like getting his helmet from time to time. That's always fun to get, and being able to make that silly cackle out. Um, and the events surrounding it, where you're putting out the fires and whatnot. That's always been fun. Messing with the the Wicker Man is
Yep.
always neat. So yeah, I mean it's typically Halloween and Christmas events and in WoW particularly, but I'm also been a fan of the Final Fantasy 14 ones. Like they didn't do this one this year because they were just too busy,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But like they typically do like a new event every year, and you can tell they're so overwhelmed with the pandemic and trying to just keep things running. That's how much effort they have to put into these things every year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's amazing they do that.
Yeah, and they always include interesting outfits, toys, mounts. Like it's there's always like a continuation of the ongoing story for that holiday. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see what's going on with the imps and whatnot in Final Fantasy 14. But the Christmas is always fun too, and it's really nice that they have really nice outfits that pop up in that event. So yeah, I've always enjoyed that, and always enjoyed doing with fellow guildies, and just a lot of fun there. And as far as real life stuff, I mean, my favorite participation is usually decorating house. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
it's I'm really big into putting lights and decorations and all other fun stuff, and hooking it all up to an Internet of Things device that I can automatically have it go off and on. And it's just it's neat to dress it up, and especially last year and this year, like we own this house now, so it's kind of an extra special
Yeah.
bit where we're decorating our own house.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's we still had the decorations up because it's it's Day of the Dead. I still consider that part of the event.
Oh,
And,
definitely.
Absolutely.
yeah, and then tomorrow, then I'll start taking some of the stuff down. But then I'm looking forward to just how early can I do the Christmas stuff?
There's no rules. If it
Yeah, I
brings
know.
if it brings
It's
you joy
2020.
right now,
There's
please
no rules.
do it.
Well, the only
Do
rule is wait for Halloween to finish. Is as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Yeah. So,
So-
you can Halloween can be over tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a figuring out, when's a good time and how do I want to do it this year? And I've got some stuff, I need to start eyeballing, see if there's anything new I need to add.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get the Christmas TARDIS out front, and and just get it all going. And it's
Have fun.
what I look forward to. Yeah, and
Cool.
and for Christmas especially, we do like I have some from my grandmother that she left those to us. We have these like miniature house things for inside decorations.
Right.
They're little light up houses, and you can kind of set like a Christmas scene somewhere.
Yeah, like a Christmas
Mhm.
village.
Yeah, so we kind of once I got those, I kind of made it a tradition every year we'd buy a new one, and usually have that new one be a theme for the year for us. I have no idea what this year's theme is going to be. I don't think they're going to have a house that's going to match it correctly. But
Right.
in the past, like I've gotten like last year, since we did a lot of shopping to Home Depot. We got actually a Home Depot store because we spent so much time there. And in the past, like I got like a lighthouse because that was one year that we went had a big family party
Yeah.
at the lighthouse. Like we tried to do some kind of interesting theme. I think one year when Jen was really into some kind of crafting event, we got her like a yarn store.
Nice.
So
That fits for your wife.
yeah, so it's just like a neat tradition to have, and I just it's fun to make things festive, and it adds to the mood a little bit better to have all that kind of stuff out and see it and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's probably it for me, and then that leaves Tetsemi.
So my favorite in-game event was not actually something Blizzard planned, but we did back in Wrath of the Lich King era with our raid team, we did a gift exchange. So everyone got, Secret Santa style stuff. And I ended up pulling Ravana, who, before all the character remodels and everything, has always played a female orc, which was one of the least picked race, gender combinations at the time. But I ended up going to Goldshire. Yeah, I think that's where the person that has the kittens for sale is, and ended up getting one of the little kittens, and that was the present. So you had this female orc in her holiday outfit with a tiny little black kitten. It was freaking adorable. It worked out perfectly. But that's always been fun. And then for D&D, one of our friends, Mills, ran a Christmas themed one shot, and that was really fun. I'm trying to remember, because we had to go not rescue Christmas, but we had to rescue Santa Claus, right?
Yeah, but yeah, Father Christmas. It was
Yeah.
rescued it from Krampus, I believe.
Yes, we had to rescue him from Krampus. So it was a little bit of the, WoW in-game go rescue Metzen style thing, but
Yeah.
and it was just a one shot, but it was a complete blast because it had all the holiday themed spells and the setting.
And we all got something special from Father Christmas or
Yes.
Father. Yeah, was it Father Christmas? Father Winter, excuse
Father
me.
Winter, yeah. So that was a blast. I think that's my favorite one shot that we did outside of the video games. I really do like you said, I like Wintervale. I like that because it lasts for a long time, and there's always that anticipation of, what did Blizzard put under the Christmas tree this year for stuff. And then, they always do a coup. We're gonna have to make sure Grimcow or someone does a coup this year, because you have to take the Red Rider BB gun and shoot the opposing
All of the
faction
main, yeah.
leaders. Yeah. So we'll have to see if we can pull that off with the expansion launching, or if they've leveled the faction leaders.
Well, I'm
too
sure.
far.
I'm sure they will. But yeah, we'll have to get to 60 if we want to survive that. So
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting. So
yeah.
all right, but I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that makes the show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles like they've already started, we want to thank the chat room for joining us and chatting with us as we chat with ourselves.
Yes. All right. And if you have questions or comments for the show, email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at The Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave. And Tet is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, at 6 p.m. Arizona. You can join the chat room, play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for the chat is aie-guild.info/discord. For past episodes, you can see them on our YouTube channel. Look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AI member segments received this week, but our mailbox was empty. So if you guys want to create a 90-second long, 60 to 90-second segment, send it in. We'll play it. We love member-created segments.
Indeed. And next time, we'll let you know once we figure out who's going to be talking with us, so that we don't talk to ourselves too much.
We did that on our own enough.
Actually, I got word back. We are going to do We're going to talk to Cyrene because the pre-patch will have launched. The pre-patch event will have launched and will be going into the actual expansion launch. So
Very timely then. Sounds
Okay.
good. So we'll have Cyrene.
I'm
So,
updating those notes in case anyone looks at them.
all right.
Yep. So until then, AIE, this is Mewcow.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Bum bum. Yay!
Awesome.
All right. I
Oh,
may be a
there's so
little
many good
biased, but
ones.
I like, even though it's probably 2 titles, I like Zombie High. You'll shoot your eye out.
Cute. I like actually all of them. I love all of them. But
Oh, yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah, because that gives you the Red Rider BB gun.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a
No. Let's
callback
do that.
to the shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Like, yeah. There we go.
Sounds good.
I mean, I absolutely adore all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they could actually almost be one long title, but yeah, I like the Zombie High. You'll
Oh,
shoot
there
your
we
eye
go.
out.
Max has a slight edition. You'll
Oh.
one-shot
Ooh,
your eye out.
Your eye.
Oh my God,
There
yes.
you go. There you go.
All right. Little tweak on Tybers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
There's a reason why we keep him
One-shot your
around.
eye out.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, chat room. We will-
Alrighty.
Yep, we will talk to you guys later. Mew has the chicken to deal with, and we have sushi to go
Yep.
pick up. So,
Do we have time though?
oh, it's been called
Time.
in. I have
Oh,
been running things
excellent.
behind the scenes. It's on.
Excellent. I was if not, we can just have leftovers.
No, we got it covered.
No. Have it.
All right.
I love you. I love you.
Bye, chat room,
Bye.
and
Bye,
we
chat
love
room.
you.